This wide space with a bunch of different activities is what Northside Hall uses for their mental health events.
The Super Bowl happened this last weekend. The Eagles beat the Chiefs, and Kendrick Lamar did the halftime show. What is WSU public opinion on that? According to University Crossing, there are over 300 parking spots. However, that could be a mixture of these and these. Also like a reflection for myself too. It's like, okay, like I know that there's some of these things that I've done and I want to continue to do. In the midst of Mora's reflection, he realized that his mission was making sure that each of his individual residents were okay. Alex Dorfler did have a different opinion on this year's halftime show.
No, I don't think that this will be looked back on as being one of the best, because I know a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people just thought that it was mid.
At the specific event, Mora had plenty of cookies and a lot of flyers. Riverside Cafe has plenty of people working there, but there's one specific employee that if you go in at the right time, will catch your eye.
Warmth. That is something that Pullman and its people have been dearly missing. Winter, and therefore snow, means that basketball in Pullman must be played indoors. However, with spring approaching, this is going to change, and it's going to change fast. WSU student Paige Yedinak understands what these seasonal changes can mean for other students.
I'm definitely in a better mood personally and as a student, like preparing for my day and like this warmer weather that we're having. I did have intramurals last week. I went and played soccer outside with my friends.
The WSU UREC has activities outdoors that are now super feasible. This is because the weather over the last month has gotten a lot nicer, and it will continue to do so. Even so, a lot of the classes that the UREC is hosting are inside still. This means that the outdoor areas at the UREC will in fact be up for grabs this weekend. That said, any that might be outdoors shouldn't be inhibited by weather. This weekend should be clear and warm, in the 60s for the most part. This means that in your time outside, you should be comfortable this weekend.
Remember like how beautiful it is around here for sure. Then the hills start to turn green in spring, which is really cool.
Warmth. That is something that Pullman and its people have been dearly missing. This is Blane Akers, Murrow News 8, signing off. There was a self-care bingo night at Northside Hall, and it was run by this man.
Now there's people taking finals and midterms are coming up, and it's towards the end of the semester, so we're all trying to keep our grades up. So I wanted to do something just to get people's minds off of that stress that they already have.
Albert Mora is a Northside Hall RA and has already ran a few events there. It shouldn't be much of a surprise, but Northside Hall does plenty of their events within this large area, because this area has a mini basketball hoop and it also has ping pong. At the specific event, Mora had plenty of cookies and a lot of flyers.
Just basically just a checklist for people to do throughout like the day, and making sure that they're taking care of themselves and also doing things for others. Also had ways to feel better. So if just like people are feeling anxious or they're tired, lost, there's like many ways that you can deal with that. And then I also created this self-care menu, just ways to take care of your body, your mind, things to just make someone feel better about themselves. And yeah, that was just like the whole purpose of this event. So I know a lot of us college students have these habits that we get into, and there's just different things you can do to get out of those bad habits. Not only am I contributing this to other residents, but it's also like a reflection for myself too. It's like, okay, like I know that there's some of these things that I've done and I want to continue to do.
In the midst of Mora's reflection, he realized that his mission was making sure that each of his individual residents were okay.